I think it's the best fight in boxing in America. But you know, we'll have to see. But right now, we're obviously planning the future of Jaron Ennis as well.
I guess who is the future for Jaron Ennis? Like, are you looking at Josh Kelly?
Yeah. I mean, Josh Kelly's obviously a fight that can be made.
Did you hear that? Obviously, the Josh Kelly fight for Jaron Boots Ennis is a fight that we can make. Then why hasn't it been made? Why is Jaron Boots Ennis, who's looking for a fight, looking to become a junior middleweight champion, the reigning WBA interim junior middleweight champion of the world after defeating Usman Lima, with a record of 35-0. He's had 35 fights, Eddie. And so far, his biggest fight was against Emiliano Stanionis. I understand it was for the bouts. But my goodness, dude. When is Jaron Boots Ennis going to get the opportunity that he deserves? Josh Kelly is under Matchroom Boxing. As soon as he beat Bakram Mirzataliev, this is the fight that should have been made. I understand Jaron Boots Ennis was in the process of fighting Virgil Ortiz. You guys are trying to set that up, but it is not possible anymore. That fight is not happening. Josh Kelly is a guaranteed fight that Jaron Boots Ennis can have. Why are you letting him sit on the bench? Why are you making him sit out? You promised this guy some of the biggest fights in the world of boxing. That's why he signed to you guys. And so far, all I've seen is, yes, he's a former unified welterweight champion, but so far all I've seen is nothing but mediocre opponents. Nothing but guys that we had expected Jaron Boots Ennis to go in there and do damage to not have tough fights with at all. Let's carry on what HESRN is saying in this interview.
The Xander Zayas fight's a huge fight in America as well.
The Xander Zayas fight is a huge fight in America as well. In America? Xander Zayas has already put it out there that his team has a TV network in Puerto Rico, a date, an arena. He's set, locked, and loaded. He's trying to get that fight with Josh Kelly. You can't even get Josh Kelly that fight. What about Jaron Boots Ennis? You're telling me that you can't negotiate right with Xander Zayas to where you can't get Jaron Boots Ennis a unified junior middleweight shot at the WBO and the WBA bout against Xander Zayas, a guy who's been public saying he's been wanting this? You can't get Atlanta fight with Josh Kelly? What is going down here? But you bring up this name.
You know, Charlo's been on. Thanks, Andy. And you know, there's a whole host, but you know, that was the fight that I really wanted to make. But we will get Boots a big fight, and he will fight in May.
Jermall Charlo, a fighter who hasn't fought in the goddamn ring in almost 3 years. A guy since 2019 has only fought 4 times. Think about that. And you can't even set up that fight. Eddie Hearn says Jaron Boots Ennis is coming back in May. That's absolutely breaking news. That's why I dropped this video in the first place. But he says he's promising Boots Ennis a very, very important fight. A fight with a lot of importance. And a huge one. A meaningful one. That's your job as a promoter. But you're out here focusing on other things, focusing on keeping Josh Kelly safe, focusing on getting him a safe fight, focusing on the Matchroom Talent Agency. You're becoming a manager now, focusing on other fighters like Tom Aspinall. What is going down with Jaron Boots Ennis? In May, he better not be fighting any other fighter other than the 3 names that you just named, because we know for a fact he ain't fighting Fedor or Thurman. Xander Zayas, Josh Kelly, they both got titles. You're telling me that you can't negotiate with any of these dudes to set up a fight when Josh Kelly is your fighter? Jermall Charlo hasn't fought in the ring in 2.5 years. The former undisputed 154-pound king has a big name behind him. Man, dude, if you guys can't make that fight, and you guys give us another Usman Lima type of fight, another fight where We know for a fact Jaron Boots Ennis really ain't going to get tested. That is absolutely ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. From the way that Eddie Hearn speak, it seems like he don't have nothing for Jaron Boots Ennis, at least when it comes to the big world title fights. Now, maybe they're working something out with Charlo under the scene. Maybe something's going down. But I just don't see it happening, man. I honestly see something shocking coming our way where the boxing world and the boxing fans are going to say, come on, dude. He's 35-0 and still hasn't fought nobody. Yes, he's fought people. But I'm talking about a super fight. You got Shakur Stevenson over here fighting Teofimo Lopez. You have Ryan Garcia over here fighting against Devin Haney. Mario Barrios. You got Mario Barrios fighting Tank Davis. Abel Ramos, Keith One-Time Thurman, Manny Pacquiao. Jaron Boots Ennis is getting left in the dust when it comes to the name of his fighters that he's beaten, man. David Benavidez, all of these other guys, in a way, all these other guys have great resumes and have fought great fighters. Jaron Boots Ennis, right now, the toughest fighter that you can say he ever fought. Who? David Avicinian? Karen? Emiliano Stanionis? This is blasphemy, man. And I think Eddie Hearn really needs to start focusing on the career of Jaron Boots Ennis, who is your #1 fighter under the Matchroom banner. Jesse, Bam Rodriguez, these guys are the biggest fighters that you have. But yeah, you're crying about Conor Benn. You're crying about Conor Benn leaving you, almost putting you to tears. Signing guys over like Tom Aspinall, focusing on this whole new world of becoming a manager and signing fighters outside of boxing. When you got boxers sitting on the bench waiting for these big fights. I'm not saying Jaron Boots Ennis, he hasn't been sitting out for that long. But the people that he's fighting, it seems like he's been sitting out for a goddamn long time. And if they give him another fight that we ain't expecting, my goodness, man. Eddie Hearn needs to get to work. This was a problem when Dana White started getting involved with Zuffa Boxing. A lot of people noticed the UFC matchmaking start to go to crap. I mean, it started getting worse and worse. Even the promotion for the UFC started getting worse and worse. People were saying Dana White is distracted. He has this other thing going down right now. It's really hard for him to focus on multiple things. Eddie Hearn has multiple fighters, has a job to do, but yet is now a manager and now has to manage, of course he only has Tom Aspinall right now, but by the end of the month, this dude could end up having 6-7 other UFC fighters that he has to focus and put his time in. I know there's workers that are working around Eddie Hearn helping him. But still, bro, let me know what you guys think. Eddie Hearn says Jaron Boots Ennis is returning in May. The WBA interim champion back. The question is, who is it going to be, bro? Who is it going to be?